Today we are going to be working in the basement, tearing out this wall, and that wall. Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Corn Star, and welcome to the 100% restoration and remodel of my great-great-grandfather's $7,000 mansion, and welcome to Cornstar Farms. And also, big thank you to Chomps for sponsoring this video. We are currently in the middle of getting ready to pour our footings and foundation walls in the underground movie theater, but before we can do that, we need to finish all of the big work in the existing basement, because once we have footings and foundation walls poured over here, we will not be able to get big stuff in and out anymore, which will make our work over here nearly impossible. So the last big task that we need to do in the existing basement is over here in this corner. We are going to be removing this entire wall. We're gonna be tearing this wall out for 3 different reasons. The first reason is we want a super big wide opening going into our utility room, so that way it's really easy to get stuff in and out. So that's why we're gonna be tearing out from right here to right here. Reason number 2, there used to be no foundation walls in this back corner. They literally stopped right here, and ground level is right here where my hand is. So we've already poured a foundation wall right there, we've poured another foundation wall there, and we have the final bit of foundation wall to pour right here. So this is just dirt right now, and in order for us to be able to dig this out and actually be able to connect up to the existing foundation wall over here, we are going to have to get around this wall, and the only way we can really do it right is by removing this section right here. So we now have this section gone, and we have from right here to here gone, so that leaves us with our final little baby section. This brings us to reason number 3. If we already have 2/3 of our wall out, we might as well take out the center third, and then we can just have ourselves a brand new wall. This job may sound a little bit complicated, but it's actually fairly simple. The first thing we need to do is jack up our ceiling so that way it gets the pressure off the top of this wall. Then we'll come in, we will knock out the wall, then we will clean up our mess, and then we will just form up concrete forms on the bottom, pour concrete, and then we will build our wall. So when everything is done, it will look pretty much exactly like what we have in the center of the basement over here. So we'll have our just little baby concrete wall on the bottom, and then we will build a wooden wall right on top of that, and the wooden wall will hold up our ceiling. So with all that being said, we're gonna gather up some materials. We need a couple bottle jacks. We got some posts to be able to hold our ceiling up. We need to find a big beam just like this one, and we'll get everything jacked up, and we'll get started ripping this thing out. Before we get too wild with work today, I just got a new delivery of Chomps, so I'm gonna be stealing one of these bad boys. Beam number 1, beam number 2. I guess first. I'm gonna go through the window.
Sure.
You're probably wondering, what does Daddy Cornstar do on the farm when the other guys are out running around doing stuff? I got a very important job today. Cooper just called me. Him and Zach are out picking up round bales out of the field, and Dad, would you be able to go to town today and get us lunch? We are hungry. I thought about arguing, but I'm like, no, I'm hungry too. So my job today is gonna go off and get lunch for everybody.
After about an hour of work, we got all of our bracing stuff done. So what we did is we have this block set up right here with a bottle jack on it. And then we took one of these big beams, we set it right up on the top, And then up here we have a double LVL. So we have two LVLs turned on their side. They are screwed together and they touch every single one of our floor joists going across. So by putting the bottle jack in the middle and having the pole on top of it, when we pushed up into the floor joists with the bottle jack, it ended up sucking the entire beam flat to the ceiling. Once we had it where it was just lifting off of this wall a little bit, then we came in here with these posts and we got them all hammered into place. So then once we ended up taking this out in the middle, the posts were there. And so right now these are holding up the entire beam that is slightly holding our ceiling off of this wall. So now there is no more floor weight in the kitchen, which is right above us on top of this wall. And then we did also have to do a little bit of work right on top of this landing because this wall is the dividing point for our floor joist. So right on top of this wall, we have this beam. If we look in there really closely, we can see there are splices in these floor joists. So that means the floor joists that are above my head are completely different than the ones that are over in this room. So if this wall was not here, those floor joists would simply just drop down like this. So we had to do a little bit of weird supporting up here because we did not want this landing area to fall on us, and we also did not want this landing where we walk in from the outside to collapse because the wall is holding that up as well. So what we had to do up here is take some hangers. So the landing that we are standing on right now is hanging off of this board, and the other side of this board is the floor joists that are being held up by our poles. So this bit of strapping is all screwed together and it's screwed to our floor joist. So we're technically holding the floor joist up. So it's hanging off that right there. It's hanging off of this one right here. And then we did the exact same thing right here. Now this end underneath of this wall, we have a giant I-beam. So this board is actually sitting right on top of our I-beam. So this is not going to go anywhere. So this is holding the landing that I'm standing on up. So we got the hard part out of the way now. We are officially ready to start knocking out this wall, I think. We got everything held up, so we don't have to worry about any ceiling collapsing on us, and nothing is going to move. So we can get started with demolition now. Upon getting our first little section of wall knocked out here, which was the block wall section, right at the bottom of it, inside of the holes, we have ourselves a mouse nest of some sort. That is absolutely disgusting. Watch like 20 mice come running out of there.
We kind of over-abused it.
Without a doubt, our block wall was the easiest wall to take apart. We just basically tapped on it with the sledgehammer a little bit. Everything kind of came off in whole solid chunks. Looking up at the top, everything seems to be holding up nice. We don't have any floor joists sagging down, so that means that our beams up here are doing their job, and our hanging item up there, whatever we want to call it, is also doing its job because everything is staying in place. So we are now ready to go to our next part of the wall. Now this is the hardest concrete known to mankind. We have some granite in here, we have some limestone in here, so tearing this guy down, it's going to be fun. And by fun, I mean it's going to be a bear cat. We're gonna be using the demolition saw to try to cut the concrete wall up into small pieces, so I'm throwing the hose down in there. We like to run some water on the blades so that way it keeps the concrete dust down, because if you don't use the water, the whole basement, like you literally will not be able to see from one side to the other because the concrete dust will be so bad, and it hangs in the air forever, and it's just not stuff we really want to be breathing a ton of in. So we're gonna use some water. Roman's got the saw warming up right now, and then hopefully we have enough gasoline in it. And we're gonna cut. We got a lot of cutting to do too. We now have the middle third out, and tearing it down is actually not the hard part, as difficult as that was. We now have giant chunks of 400-pound pieces of concrete, rock, and brick that are stuck together, and they are too heavy for us to lift. So we're gonna have to figure out how to break these up into smaller chunks. Some of them we'll be able to carry out by hand, but for sure that one, and that one, we're gonna have to try to break up into smaller chunks here on the ground. And honestly, I think it may be more difficult to break them when they're on the ground than when they're on the wall.
Everything is so heavy today. What about you?
I do feel a little bit sluggish, but honestly, I stink today. It's pretty important to keep in mind that since we are working so hard today, in order to keep working that hard, we need to maintain fuel in our bodies. So my little snack of choice today is my jalapeno chomps beef stick. These are my absolutely favorite ones, and I'm really looking forward to eating this. Project for just a second. I have an announcement that I would like to make. Roman and I have been working together pretty much every single day for the last 9 months, and we have officially came up with our favorite snack. I introduce our favorite snack, aka the perfect snack, Chomps beef sticks. All stick without the egg. These are my favorite snack for a few reasons. The first reason is, well, they taste incredible. These are the best beef sticks I've ever had. Reason number 2, due to the way they are packaged, they're super convenient to carry around. I literally just put them in my pocket. Reason number 3, they have 10 grams of protein, 100 calories, and 0 sugar. And reason number 4, they taste so good. These are the best beef sticks that I've ever had. I think I already said this in reason number 1, but they're so good. If you've ever had Chomps before, could you do me a big favor and go down to the comments and write why you like Chomps so much? And then while you're down there, be sure to check out the link in the description and pick yourself up some Chomps. Also, fair warning, people are going to steal them from you, and you're gonna wanna sit down and have like 5 at a time, so enjoy.
Today's one of them days. Been kind of jumping around. Had some different neighbors stop by. Had a bunch of phone calls. But now, Cooper just drove in one of the semis, the gray Freightliner. Sounds like one of the brake tanks, air tanks in the back of the trailer blew out the other day. So he's got his good buddy Levi here handing him tools. So Levi's under there supervising, or he's handing tools.
Yeah, I got 15, 16 stab.
15, 16. I've been in here for a little while and they'll probably be gone. Let's see. And it is, so let me get another wrench, Scoop. Hey there, Ellie. You gonna get some tools? You wanna go give that to your daddy? You go, Levi?
Thank you.
There's the tank. Then it never fails, they'll take the hoses.
They don't work.
A little bigger?
Might be an inch.
Let's see here, make sure we got the right one. All right, yes we do.
Do we not have an inch gear wrench?
I can look. Oh, yeah, the 15 16th that was gone. He doesn't like our cheap wrenches. This tank right here, Cooper said it blew a hole in it, so they're getting a new tank. It's almost like brand new old. This trailer here is a 1988. Let's see, we gotta find a 15. Ooh, we got one. Gear wrench. Not a lot of room under there where Cooper and Levi's working. Cooper's working on one of the new air tanks for the back of the trailer that him and Levi were taking off. So he's putting some new valves on it. It'll be a brand new tank. The old tank is right there and it got a pretty good hole in it.
I don't know what it is today, but Roman and I are both feeling a little bit sluggish. Everything just feels so heavy, but despite how we feel, we're still getting to work. We're getting after it and we're getting it done. We did get our wall tipped over. We got everything all broken apart right here. It actually worked pretty good with the jackhammer this time. For whatever reason, we were able to break everything up nice. We got it all picked up. So now we have our last third of the wall to do. Now this is the most difficult third because we have our electrical panels over on this side. So this board is actually what this is mounted to, and I did already screw some boards, so it's currently hanging from the ceiling, so it is not attached to the wall in any way, shape, or form right now. So that really shouldn't be too bad. It's just we can't really get in here with the demo saw and cut on this side because everything here is kind of permanently placed because our conduit is all glued together, so we can't really take that apart and move anything. But the actual most difficult part of this is over here. We still have some dirt that we need to dig out for our last foundation wall pour. So we are going to try to come in and dig this out now, because if we leave this here and we hit from the backside, we're basically hitting into a backstop, and we'd be sitting here just turning this wall basically into the pulverized dust. But if we get this dirt out of here on this side, then maybe when we hit it, the brick and the wall will actually have somewhere that it can go and maybe break off this direction. So we're gonna get to digging, and then we're gonna get to breaking, and hopefully we can get this thing done today. And Roman is excited to try out our new tool. What do we got there, Roman?
Virgin jackhammer, and this is the heaviest duty tool before you go into the concrete breakers that we used over there. But this thing has nice attachments. These things come with a rebar driving attachments with little shovels. I bet there is something else that I don't know, but this is very handy, and you can drill and hammer with it. So it's basically a beefy, big hammer drill with lots of different attachments. And Cole has that shovel attachment that we're gonna try out and see if that will speed up the process in any way.
In other words, what Roman has in his hands right now is a 15-pound jackhammer that we can put a little shovel bit on the end, so we can use this to jackhammer dirt to basically shovel it away instead of using our own two arms with our own power. So hopefully this should be able to mow through that dirt pretty quick. If this works right, it should just mow this right off. I've only watched this in YouTube videos, so I really don't know how it's gonna work. Kidding me? Where's this thing been? I want to show you how impactful this new tool is. So I'm going to go 15 seconds as fast as I can with the shovel versus 15 seconds with the power tool. So here we go. So that's what I got. That's probably more like 20 seconds. Now say hello to my little friend. Tell you what, we have the tools to make this job a lot easier. That doesn't mean that this is still an easy job. There's a lot of work to be done here. We did get the majority of our dirt out of here, or at least we got enough dirt out now. We have the back of our concrete wall exposed. We are going to try to do some cutting from this side and see if maybe we can do some chipping from this side. We've been doing everything else from the other side, but since we have all the stuff in the way over here, we're going to see if we can maybe do this one a little bit different. And hopefully this one breaks out pretty good. We do got some pretty big boulder pieces up top, so we gotta be on the lookout if those fall on us. So Roman's got the demo saw started. Here we go. We're gonna get this last piece out. Our final third is proving to be our most difficult one yet, and for good reason. That electrical box is giving us some fits. So we made a slice right in the middle here on this backside, and we have it cut halfway through the wall. We could continue our cut all the way underneath of the plywood right here, basically following that seam all the way to the back. But we are worried if we do that, what if the bottom of the wall kicks forward and then the top of the wall kicks this way? Then it would rip all of our electrical stuff off of the wall, and we really don't want to do that if we don't have to. So we've been trying some different methods of running the jackhammer, trying to chip off the top, but that is absolutely hard as a rock, quite literally. We took the new jackhammer and we put it up in there too to try to maybe chip off these bricks on the top. Same thing, super hard. Then I took the hammer drill and I was trying to run some little holes right there, see if I could break that up, but that's about like watching paint dry. So we're trying to figure out the best method here. We have one other option, so we got our line cut right there. So we are going to try to grab the demo saw again, and we're gonna come in at an angle. So kind of like when you're cutting down a tree and you cut out a wedge, we're gonna try to cut a wedge in this and then see if we can maybe chunk out that wedge. And then so we'll just have a couple inches of concrete on the backside still holding. And then just like you would with a tree, then we're gonna see if maybe then we can push or pry somehow and maybe get that top part to fall this direction. Once we get that top part to fall away, then the bottom will be really easy, but we just don't wanna rip off that electrical box. So that's what we're gonna try to do. See if we can cut out a wedge and get everything to fall this way. We did it!
That's just you.
If you would have told me when we started today that ripping out this wall was going to take all day, I would not have believed you, but I would have believed you if you said it was not going to be the most enjoyable thing in the world, which it was not. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We got the block area out, we got our middle area out, and we almost have the back area out. We got the super hard part done, which was getting that thing tipped over, so that's probably like an 800-pound rock sitting right there, so we still have to do the break up on the ground with that, but this thing was just holding on. It was cold jointed to the wall, so that was already poured when they ended up pouring this wall, so there was nothing really binding it together. I'm very thankful there was no rebar inside of there for the demolition purposes we were trying to do, but this little piece right here, that was giving us all the fits in the world, and it was holding us onto the wall, because we had this entire area through here completely through, and then just this little spot right here was the only thing that was attached, and we could not get it off. Roman's ramrod battering method worked pretty good. We were able to get it cracked against the wall, so that way we could get it to separate a little bit, and then between me getting a bar pushed in here and lifting up on it to kind of push it forward a little bit and Roman ramrodding it, boom, we were able to get this thing down. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but this demolition saw is a messy unit. When I'm running the hose on the blades, so that way it's not making an incredible amount of dust, all that water vapor just goes everywhere, and it has all the concrete dust inside of it, so you just get covered from head to toe. My shirt's supposed to be black, my shorts are supposed to be black, but I'm like this weird, like, 10 Man off the Wizard of Oz color. I feel super chalky, and my hair, look at this. It's like I got hairspray in, but I don't. It's concrete dust. Look at that, just it stays there and it feels absolutely disgusting. When we run this demolition saw, we like to get all the demolition saw work done all at the same time, so that way when we get dirty, we just get dirty once, and then that thing is a 2-stroke, so the oil is mixed in with the gas, so when you hit the trigger on it, it just fills the basement up in this like blue perfume smoke in the air, and it really just kind of sticks with you. So when we cut with the saw, we like to just get it done, get it out of the way, so then we don't have to keep doing it for several days in a row. Now, unfortunately, we are gonna have to run the saw again later because we have this last little spot left. The sun is starting to go down quick, so we are going to have to call it a night, but I'm super happy with what we got done today. We got most of the wall out, got just a little bit left, so we're gonna be moving on to making some concrete here very soon. But this is all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.